heal your entire team back up full health, no matter the amount of poke coming up from the other team. So coming into this draft, I must say, Infamous yet again have got that early game. We do see a Vox being banned out for the side of Elite 8. In order to respond to this, I mean, Infamous can really just ban out that Batiste right now, and they are going to ban out that Batiste.
Yeah, I think Batiste ban makes sense. You don't want to give it over to Elite 8. They love to play Batiste. They're extremely comfortable on that hero. And now, as a pick for Elite 8, they want to give themselves a bit of flexibility. A Glaive could work well. They don't want to give away their comp. Most heroes on the fold work with healers, so you don't really need to worry about having a comp that works with it. And obviously, Batiste would have been the perfect pick for them. But now with that being banned, I would like to see someone like a Glaive. They're going to pick Celeste instead. That gives away that you're going for a mage in the lane or in the jungle. But Taka would obviously work well. Idris Taka isn't an option because Idris has been banned. But maybe I think we're likely to see an assassin, maybe Taka or maybe Koshka to counter this Celeste.
Or honestly, we are going to see a Taka. I was about to say the side of Infamous can just opt to go for that Cruel, for that early game, for that late game, or to go up against Celeste, at least in that jungle. But they are going to opt for that Taka, like you said. Taka, very good pickup. So it doesn't quite matter what, Elite 8 is going to go for the last pick. They can go for the tankier hero, like that of Glaive, just appeal for that Celeste. It'll make most sense for the side of Elite 8. But Glaive will be taken away by the side of Infamous, so that there will be no more pills coming out from the side of Elite 8. Elite 8, however, they can still settle for that Celeste and Cruel team comp that we've been seeing a lot lately. But honestly, looking at how they were drafting so far, not a lot of emphasis on that Cruel.
Celeste Cruel would be a great decision for Elite 8 here. Push that Celeste in lane. I think they wanted a triple CC comp. They wanted the Grace Celeste Glaive, but they were unable to get it because obviously Glaive was picked up. And there aren't really any weapon power carries with stuns, except if you want to go dual, I guess. So they're not going to go that. I think Cruel would be the best decision and just push that Celeste in lane, Cruel in jungle. You still get the triple stun. You get a really good early game hero with when he gets that tension bow, and he can really peel and stop them diving Celeste in the late game. And I'm not sure what they're going to pick. There's probably a slight delay. They could obviously go Rhyme. You're up against double melee. Don't think it would be the best idea. I think Cruel works well against melees, and that means you're going double TP. It's not the ideal situation for Elite 8. So I think they have a really good opportunity. They could try maybe a weapon bump shot. I think Cruel is the best decision, but they're actually going to pick Rona, being told. So that is trying to counter the sustain from Lyra with mortal wounds, and that's. What do you think of that pick? Rona has obviously not been seen a lot at all. She did get a little buff in 2.7.
But I guess, like you said, and we've kind of talked about the buffs and the nerfs made to heroes off stream, and you said Rona's buff, it's not really game changing. It was only changes made into the fray. So if you hit into the fray, then of course you can enjoy the buff. But even that is 15% more fortified health. Is that it, or is it 15 more fortified health?
I think it's about 15 to 25 extra fortified health per target.
Yeah. So there you go. So it's not game changing at all. But at the end of the day, Rona do not provide the peel that Glaive has got. But I guess with her sustain, she can go up against that of Taka, that of Glaive, and be really difficult to take down. But honestly, with the Rona pickup, I would have preferred to see that Cruel just be so much stronger in their team comp. If not, even the Weapon Black Feather work rather well going up against Taka and the Glaive. That is the least expected pick. Very niche coming out from the side of Elite 8.
I think the problem with the Rona compared to Cruel is that they're both good against melee. Rona obviously can spin to win, red mist on top of everyone and get a lot of damage and a lot of sustain, but she doesn't have any peel for Celeste, whereas Cruel, if you try and dive Celeste, Cruel is going to do a lot of damage to you and build weakness stats so you do less damage to Celeste, whereas Rona will be a bit of a menace, but if you just dodge her red mist, then she's kind of useless, has to try and jump towards you or foe splitter towards you. And so I think it can work to counter Lyra's heal quite effectively, but I definitely agree with you, Cruel would have been better, so I have to favour the side of Infamous for this draft.
Definitely, I must agree with you. And I go with you 100% on the desk for the side of Infamous. Rona is just too niche at this point in time. And on top of that as well, Rona is pretty late game as compared to that of Cruel. Let's see if Elite 8 can pull off this Rona when we get into game.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Elite 8 do if they want to try maybe to invade early game with Rona. We know Rona can be extremely strong at level 1, level 2 with the high base damage she has. But then again, once you get to late game, you want to just let Rona build Serpent's Mask, Breaking Point, stack up defense, sustain for as long as possible throughout the fights. Thank you for that analysis, Luxuria. Now we are into the Halcyon Fold, and I will be joined by I Requested You.
Hello once again, and yes, we are into match 2 between Infamous and Elite 8, and this time, yeah, I must agree with Luxuria there. I'm a bit worried about Verona pickup. What I do like about it, however, they do have the new skins, the Grace and the Red Verona, going very well together. Hopefully they can pull something through here. I think it's one of these team comps that will work if Elite 8 can hold the aggression. The thing is, they're going up against Infamous, and we know how hard that's going to be for them, just in terms of trying to be that dominant team. But if they have that strong front line, and they're able to push Infamous back, then Official Hind on that Celeste should be able to sit in the backline and land their Heliogenesis. And you could even say, once it comes to late game and Anime Save Me has Divine Intervention, Celeste can be standing anywhere and just focus on hitting the Heliogenesis and core collapses, and then whenever needed can just have that big heal from the Divine Intervention, which we do know had a slight nerf to it, however, but I think it's still fairly useful, and for good reason. You still see Grace being one of the most banned roamers, or usually most picked as well, if not for Lyra's on the side of Infamous. So 2 very good drops, I'd say, from both teams, but you can see that Infamous are going to, if they're able to just kind of get to that backline with the Glaive on the Afterburn, with Vitaka just going in onto Celeste, they should have an easy job, which we see right now, but it's so close between Official Hind and Uni. And there's going to be Vikaku coming out from Uni. They're just going to go into the backs. They are spotted out by a flare. Good job by Anime Save Me on that Grace to do that. And it looks like Uni will be able to take one, but might go down with his life. Kaku isn't up for another 2 seconds, and there's going to be the first blood bonus. So I'm not sure if that's worth it, taking that one back there, but we'll see as Elite 8 and Infamous go into this second match. And how are you feeling about these 2 team comps? I know you had a bit of a chat with it with Luxuria, but now seeing them in-game, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm certainly liking the legendary bonus skin. It does.
yes.
The game's going to get up.
Core Collapse is going to go in. There's going to be the into the fray. And look at this. Official Hind, if they're able to play like this normally, of course a 3v2 situation in their favor of Elite 8 for that fight, but if they're able to continue like that and just let Official Hind land those shots in, they do need to be careful if Vitaka gets spotted out by the Scout Trap, but it looks like they'll be able to pick up a return kill. Anime Save Me doing what they can to save Official Hind right now, and they're going to be able to. Uni just going to rotate into the backs there. Meanwhile, Hanyega's going to have a bit of trouble in this lane, has to back out. But we did talk about the sustain that Rona's going to be able to provide. You talked about spin to win. If that's going to be the case. I think their biggest trouble for the side of Elite 8 is just keeping Official Hind on that Celeste alive.
Yeah, Uni going to try and steal some farm. He's going to get caught out there by Celeste, maybe. Looks like he wants to go in. Nope.
Yeah, Core Collapse just missing in that situation. If it had landed, maybe they would have picked up a kill onto Uni, but Infamous now going to do a full rotation into this jungle, taking the Elder Trian, and it looks like if we look in terms of gold lead, it's barely anything. You could say, even though Infamous are behind in kills, they've managed to keep up in gold, because when we look over at farm, right now, Uni surprisingly with 23 farm over to the 12 on Official Hind. That's a bit worrying.
Yeah, I think but Uni has invaded Official Hind an awful lot. Celeste really can't do much against this Stormguard banner on Taka. You can sneak into your jungle, keep taking your farm. But obviously the first blood going over to Official Hind, and the second blood actually, just really helps him get the gold, even if he doesn't get it from the jungle, just get gold from kills. And Taka again going to sneak and take away the mid. There was vision in the Tribush pack, Taka just popped it immediately. So yeah, Official Hind really is going to struggle, because Uni's kept being aggressive, and now he's going to continue onto Official Hind. but there's a
Yeah,
sentry.
core collapse will land. There's Anime Save Me with the Holy Nova, manages to get it off, but Uni did have the help of SNK with that Imperial Sigil, was going to be able to find the Kaku to get out of there and heal up, and it's just such a pain, and I feel for Official Hein right now, because when you're versing, and I used to be a Celeste main, back probably around when the this original skin came out, the Bay Witch skin, and yeah, it's just Taka is your worst nightmare, because he's just going to be all over you, and if you can't hit that core collapse, you know, you're in a bit of trouble, and even if you do, he's just going to Kaku, get his health back, he gets the speed boost, and it's a real pain to deal with. So it's going to be up to Anime Save Me for two things. One, for the vision, and then two, just to be there with the benediction to jump in there and try save Official Hein, especially the Holy Nova will come into use as well when chaining CC. But we see the side of Infamous diving in onto this turret, getting a fair bit of damage down as well for it, and Hanyeg is not really able to do much in return.
Extremely turret focused play from Infamous. We see this an awful lot from them. They love to just push turrets, try and get objectives, and take away farm if at all possible. Uni going for the Storm Crown first. It makes sense because you're against the Rona, so you want to go Storm Crown Aftershock instead of maybe a Shatterglass first. And obviously it makes him able to steal farm an awful lot easier. So I think that's a smart play from Uni. He's finally going to get some boots, and I'd expect to see him work towards an Aftershock. But maybe he's going to go Shatterglass now. I don't think that would make sense. I think given that he's up against Hunyegas, who's already built health, is going to build more and build quite a lot of defense, that Aftershock will work great. Official Hein just needs to farm up his jungle. There's been some really good vision from Anime Save Me. We see those three scout traps on the fold already. The two of them aren't going to get popped like at all, and Glaive is going to be caught out.
Yep, Hanyeg is trying to dive behind Glaive in that situation to land it into the fray slow behind him, but Spaghetti going to be able to get out of that one with ease. They have the Imperial Sigil there as well to heal them up, and now if as an Elite 8 shoes, they need to be worried about this Taka who's already got that X-Retsu, and it's going to be quite a problem as he's going to easily be able to just jump past any front lining and straight onto Official Hein, and we're going to see the fight break out here. There's the core collapse onto Uni, Holy Nova to follow up, and now we see Hunyegas in that front line, but meanwhile Spaghetti jumping onto Official Hein. Uni going to do the follow-up and manage to secure the kill, but doesn't look like he'll fall to turret, just barely getting out of there. And meanwhile, this is the problem I said, like Spaghetti was the first one to jump in, but while their attention was on Spaghetti and getting him out away from Official Hein, you could see Taka moving in for the kill, and Spaghetti going low in that situation, manages to afterburn out there. Bright Bulwark going to stop any kind of follow through as well. And once again, we see Uni clearing out the farm of Official Hein basically. Yeah,
pretty much
now
taking it all.
43 CS over to 29, really putting Official Hein in a bit of trouble here, because you like to put these heroes, these caster mage heroes, in the jungle so they can level up faster, but that's not really going to work when Uni is on that Taka taking all your farm.
Yeah, if you haven't got farm, you're not going to level up at all. As you said, 48 CS on Taka, now to 31 on Celeste. The lane is pretty even. In fact, it's in Glaive's favour. So Infamous really with the farm, advantage and the gold lead. Even though they're behind on kills, they're certainly ahead on gold. And this Rona is getting taken down low.
Yeah, and you can tell that Rona is gonna, even though Rona's able to sustain, that mortal wound is just going to stop that effectiveness even more. And you see Taka going in with X-Retsu, they're gonna pick up the kill onto Rona easily. Spaghetti not even having to use that afterburn to actually stun up anyone, but they have the man advantage moving onto this turret. Imperial Sigils there to keep them nice and healthy. However, they don't have the minions just of yet, so they're gonna wait up for a bit. Uni not gonna waste any time. Notices that Celeste is obviously busy trying to hold down that initial turret because they don't want to give it over to the side of Infamous, and instead is going to go down to the jungle here, and it doesn't look like Rona will even be able to catch them out.
Uni again just able to take away the farm, somehow just taking everything from Celeste. Official Hein is really struggling, has got the Frostburn but hasn't even got either Harvest or Broken Myth yet, and Hunyegas still hasn't got a breaking point, so this is a really good time for Infamous to fight. There's an infusion already used on Taka and one on Spaghetti ready to go. I think once Hunyegas gets a reflex block to try and stop, because at the moment Glaive can just afterburn Hunyegas out of the red mist. and then he'll just be able to, and then Rona won't be able to do anything. He's already used into the fray to get on top of them. Taka's going to go in.
Yeah, and we see Taka jumping right into the middle of that fight. No one is really afraid of Rona at this point because not quite able to get built up, and I believe there's either you or Luxura saying that Rona really needs to get to that late game, get all those items to go in there and be a real threat. But right now, we did talk about the difference in the economy between the two teams, with Infamous being ahead at 21.7k over to 19.2 of Elite 8. And that might not seem like much, but is a lot when no objectives have been taken. And that's simply off kills and stealing farm away and just CS advantage.
Yeah, I think Taka's going to try and be sneaky again as the 5th century. But he's probably going to get both. He's going to get both the farm. Will he be able to get away?
MVP, shut him down. Do it, because I believe the Crystal Sentry. I'm not sure about this, but I believe the Crystal Sentry shots will be able to follow through. There's the Solar Storm, and they are able to jump down in the 2v1. However, Taka was able to pick up that farm. Glaive able to steal that one away. Official Heim probably just rarely feeling it right now, seeing a 41 farm, and that's probably with taking some of the lane farm as well. It's just real tough for them, and I think at this point it looks like the side of Infamous, they took that first turret as well, and they're probably going to have their eyes set on Goldmine next, that they're able to push the lane forward enough and then rotate down and have enough control over the jungle. Right now, a good thing in response coming through by Anime Save Me, they haven't given up on the vision. They're being thorough with it, and that's great to see, especially when going up against a Taka that's going to be roaming everywhere.
Yeah, it's very important to see that vision control. And I saw Taka, he chitined over the... That can be called out actually at half point.
Yep, Uni gonna go jump in, but is actually taking a fair bit of damage in return. There's gonna be the Bright Bulwark to stop the fight going on any longer, and it looks like these two teams might just back out, but the thing is, Uni with such short cooldowns on that Taka, and the invisibility ready, going through that Kaku, is probably looking for engage. There's going to be Hun Jaegers jumping in with Anime Save Me, and then the return coming through. Uni going in, but right now you see when the team of Elite 8 are together, there's a lot of CC you need to be cautious of. And right now, Taka just stealing farm whenever they can. They're going to go down there, and there's going to be Afterburn onto Official Heim. They're going to get taken out instantly. Bright Bulwark up, and nothing the side of Elite 8 can do right now. Imperial Sigil going to keep them healthy. There's the Holy Nova. It's going to miss, however. SNK on this backline is low, but Spaghetti is not, as he's up in their faces. We didn't even look at Spaghetti's build right now. Actually seeing 2-0-2. He's got that Poison Shiv with the Tyrant's Monocle and Sorrow Blade, so just doing so much damage right now. This is what I love about being able to play with Elira, and you know, you play around the fact that you have that healing, you have that sustain there, and you can just go all in, especially when you're a team like Infamous, which we talked about in the first round, just knows their limits, knows how to control it. But right now, Uni needs to be careful, almost getting caught out by the core collapse. Just gonna sneak away, little Tanuki running off into the forest.
Grabs himself an Aegis and an Infusion, so he could have just turned around and tried to fight, but Official Hive was also infused, so he wouldn't have been that far ahead. And I think Elite 8 are just finding out the problems that happen when you have no money. When the enemy just takes all of your farm. Glaive is on 155 CS after this wave, and we're only 30 minutes in, and it's just ridiculous how much, how far ahead Infamous are at this point. Despite only being about 7k gold ahead, maybe about 7.5k gold ahead, they're just completely dominating over all these team fights. Official Hein has almost nothing he can do. They're going to go try and engage, try and find out Uni.
Yeah, well, a bit of aggression between both teams here, a bit of poke as well, and they're going to jump right onto Official Hein, who gets deleted instantly as soon as Spaghetti finds the mark right there. Tori glitching out slightly, but Spaghetti going to be able to get away from that one. Uni going to jump in once again, dodges Alpha, Holy Nova, and Hun Jaeger is going to have to be on the retreat. Does manage to block out the Afterburn. It's doing so much damage, able to return the kill onto that Glaive. And this is what I mean by Rona can actually be a good pick, and what Luxura was saying is kind of niche. And of course, once Rona gets built up, you still need to be afraid of her because she can really go in and do some damage. But I think the problem there is a lot of the items and even the draft coming out from Infamous, as I mentioned before, Mortal Wound on that X-Retsu, as well as the Poison Shiv being picked up by Spaghetti, they're really going to counter that, as well as just being already able to put out so much damage, having their own sustain in their team comp. And Infamous, generally, once they're able to find that kill onto Official Hein, I think they could have got a bit greedy in that situation, diving in once more onto Rona and then just being punished for it.
Yeah, Spaghetti did kind of dive between turrets and just wasn't in the best position, but they still, Taka managed to sneak away, take farm, because that's obviously Uni's win condition this game is just take farm. And they look to go for a fight. Taka's been spotted out, he's going to go in.
Yeah, Uni once again in the front line, this time not able to find anyone. I think it really relies on Spaghetti kind of getting in there initially, because you can see Official Hein starting to build a bit of armor. That light armor really not going to do anything for you in this situation, however, so they do need to be cautious. And it really is down to, I would suggest maybe Official Hein just go straight for an Aegis. It's going to give you a bit of armor anyway, but it'll just help out with generally having the reflex block there. And we see Elite 8 on the chase trying to stop Infamous, but they're going to be able to get that Crystal Sentry and get out of there. And you were talking about money problems, and we look at it right now, it's almost hitting that 10k mark with 37.1k in the pockets of Infamous, over to 28.8 in the side of Elite 8. And meanwhile, they've taken 2 turrets away from Elite 8, and I'm sure a few gold mines with that end, as we saw before, Crystal Sentry. So it's all adding up here. You know, I was thinking earlier, maybe we need a hero who can, their heroic perk is they can sweet talk the shop owner to get, you know, just a cheaper price.
Just give me a 50% discount on all of the rest of my items, and for the team as well. That might
or just some budget kind of shopping. They go to a little budget shop hidden somewhere in the jungle. But
yeah, they get a cheap Eve Harvest. It gives you a bit less healing, but it's half the price, so it's fine. Sometimes it doesn't work. Yeah,
sometimes it doesn't work.
And Infamous in a good position, Attacker's going to dive in.
Jumping in onto Celeste, and Celeste's going to have to back out there. You see the more wound doing a lot of damage, but Rona going to try go at it with Spaghetti right in the middle of that fight, staying alive for so long, but it's not going to be enough. Taka now finding their way onto Celeste, who uses the Solar Storm. It's in vain, however. There's the Divine Intervention by Grace as well, trying to save their life, but right now Infamous just too strong, and there's nothing Crystal Sentry can even do about it. There's going to be the ace going over to Infamous as they push onto the anchor turret, and they could even just turn their attention to Kraken right now. There's 10 seconds up before Hanyega's up to defend the base, so looks like that is going to be their plan of attack.
Yeah, that is the 10k gold lead for Infamous, so some call this point of no return. Obviously Celeste is really late game, can try and turn it around, but it's going to be tough. Uni is playing well on this Taka. I think if Infamous get out of position, Elite 8 might be able to get this Kraken and turn it around. They're not going to be able to Solar Storm to steal. They just have to try and pick a fight as early as possible, see what can happen. Maybe if Uni dives in, they get a stun, they get a double stun, while Jaegers is using Red Mist, then they have a chance to kill Taka. And Spaghetti's got little defense against Rona, so that could work out for them. Then again, he's already got 4 damage items with the breaking points. So if the fight lasts any length of time, this Glaive is going to be stacking so many breaking point stacks with that 4 damage item build. Now Infamous, they want to fight. Arcade Passage is available.
Yep, and we can see they're pushing through that entrance point, and that's really where Elite 8 needed to try force a fight, if not under their turrets, because they're able to land the Heliogenesis in a more close proximity and hopefully catch out that Taka, but Glaive's going to be the first one to dive in there under the turret, uses Afterburn to get out, however, and now Infamous actually having to push off from this first one, but they're only backing off for a second while Kraken making their way onto the second turret as half out. There's going to be the core collapse onto Uni. Uni's low, but the fountain is used for this side of Infamous, and they're going to be able to take that second turret. All members of Infamous still up. Uni just going to back at this point, maybe a bit of a taunt, but we see there isn't too much Elite 8 can do. Kraken is still fairly healthy. There goes the Vein Crystal. That's going to be round 2 going over to Infamous, but I believe it is going to be a best of 5 today, so it's not over just yet for Elite 8. They have a chance to bring this one back. We'll have to see what they do in the drafting next time, because of course, as much as we loved the skins coming through with the Grace and with Verona, I don't think that synergy is quite going to help them up against the team comp they were faced with Infamous.
Yeah, I think the Elite 8 are going to have to bring out something extremely special in this third game. They're going to have to try and counter Infamous, or just try and stop the snowball that Infamous have kept having in all of these games. Infamous have just snowballed from early on. Even when the Elite 8 had a Koshka, Infamous got the first couple of kills. They got the advantage, and they really know how to push an advantage well. That's one thing Infamous, Infamous are going